I want to thank all of you for clicking on today's Dallas Cowboys Report video. We are almost at 88,000 subscribers, so if you haven't already, to the roughly half of you who watch the show every single day and yet aren't subscribed for some reason, let's get that changed. We're working our way to 100K, so hit that big red button and subscribe. That way you don't miss anything around the Dallas Cowboys this offseason. Oh, look, we're back with trade Dak for Deshaun Watson. I will be upfront and honest. I am tired of talking about this, but when ESPN and former NFL general managers keep suggesting it, I feel the need to bring it up to debunk it once again. This is fake news. This does not make sense. I don't understand how we keep doing this. ESPN continues to push a Dak for Deshaun trade idea. Stephen A. Smith did it, and then former GM, failed GM, Mike Tannenbaum was like, what if they just signed him and then traded him for Deshaun Watson? First off, this is why Mike Tannenbaum got fired, for stupid ideas like this. Frankly, this continues to not make sense for several reasons. I do not understand how we continue to do this. It doesn't make sense from a practical perspective. Sure, from a different universe, whatever, I guess it could make some sense. But from this works, it doesn't. Number one reason, Dak has to want this to happen. Why would Dak Prescott want to go to Houston? There are other NFL teams that will happily pay him. There's zero reason for Dak to want to go to Houston. And if you're going to tag and trade somebody, guess what? The player's not going to sign the tag or sign an extension with a team he doesn't want to play for. That doesn't make sense from Dak's perspective. And I think what Tannenbaum was trying to do with his sign and trade idea was to get around that, right? Here's the problem. That is going to be a massive cap hit. Even if you do let's just say it's the $50 million signing bonus that the Cowboys offered Dak last year, guess what? That's what you would be paying him. You owe him that this year, so you're paying Dak $50 million, hypothetically, if it's in a sign and trade, because he's not going to take less signing bonus and make Houston pay because they don't want to play there. Doesn't make sense. Folks, it's time to do it. Sam, do it. Reset the nonsense meter. It's been 0 days since our last nonsense. I don't know how we keep doing this. It doesn't make sense. And look, these two quarterbacks are very comparable. Dak 2019, Deshaun Watson 2020, not that different. When you use QBR, which factors in level of competition, notice I didn't put wins, losses up there because that's stupid. Both these quarterbacks are awesome. Both these guys are top 10, top 5, top whatever you want to make them QBs. So I get you can just swap them out. That might make sense with two potentially unhappy situations. You're trying to get Houston a good player. I get it. I don't know why Dak would ever want to play in Houston. So because of it, it's a non-starter. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. What I want you guys to do here, and this will be the pinned comment, by the way, on today's Cowboys video, rank Dak among NFL quarterbacks. Is he top 5, top 10? If you get the ad break here on YouTube, scroll on down and get your votes in. More Dak Prescott contract talk here. Todd Archer pitched a 6-year deal for Dak Prescott. Now, as many of you guys know, you're going, wait, Dak won in 3 or 4 years. Why would he take 6 years? I'm going to give it 2 stars, though. Because, as I've suggested before, it's not really a 6-year deal. What it really would be is a 4-year deal, and you just slap some fake years on the back end of it, like I've suggested many a time here on the show. It's technically a 6-year deal. This is the one Archer pitched. A 6-year deal with $220 million, but in reality, it's a 4-year deal with $155 million with $115 guaranteed. Well, that actually starts to make sense. So I know this is complicated. Let me break it down as Archer pitched with his example. So the initial deal looks like this. 2021, $30 million cap hit. 2022, 30 as well. Then 42.5 in 2023, 42.5 in 2024, and then again 42.5 in 2025. And then there's a void year in 2026. These years void, they don't actually count. Now, what the Cowboys would be able to do is take that 2022 cap hit, restructure the deal after 1 year to bring it down. So for Archer's pitch, this is what the deal looks like from a Cowboys perspective. $30 million this year, you save $7 million, based on what you're, or 7 plus what you're going to pay this past year. It's 15.6, way down in 2022 as to save some money. And then once the cap jumps up in a big time way, 46.1 last 2 years of his deal. The 5th year automatically voids as a $17.2 million dead cap charge. And by that point, you will know if you want to extend Dak Prescott to bring those cap numbers down. You have success, you're going to bring him back. If you want to blow it up and move on, just eat the dead money. It's less than what the Rams are eating for Jared Goff. In total, from Dak's perspective, this ends up being this: a 4-year deal, $155 million, a $50 million signing bonus. It averages just under $39 million per year. And if you want to bump it up to like $160 over 4 years and add an extra $1 million per year, that's fine. Like, that's just kind of figuring out the exact numbers and adjusting a little bit here. 2 problems in the end why this is not just the full 4 stars. Number 1 is Dak holds leverage. He doesn't have to do this if he doesn't want to. At this stage, Dak can wait as long as he wants and hit the open market and demand a couple extra million if he wants to. The Cowboys, by the way, have been hesitant to do these fake years except for other players because their contract stance makes no sense. I do think adding a fake year makes a lot of sense. Stephen Jones has hesitant to do so because he worries about the cap implications, which I get. I think at some level they're still dealing with the aftereffects of being burned by Romo's injuries and all of that stuff. I think it's a pretty even compromise, though, that was pitched by Todd Archer. I like it. Maybe both sides still got to figure out some other stuff. I think it's pretty good, though. So let's say the deal, goes forward, and they still have their issues, as I expect them to, because both sides are pretty damn stubborn at this point. Pick a side for me. Who are you pro-team, right? Are you pro-Dak? Type in D. Are you pro-Cowboys? Go ahead and type in C instead. Let's talk about now investing in the defensive tackle position. I'm giving this 4 stars because I'm trying to speak it into existence. This Cowboys team, they need help on the interior. They do not have an impact star. They do not have a legit disruptor or a legit run stopper. They got rotation guys. They do. But there's no one that when opposing teams game plan, they go, oh, shoot, this defensive tackle's dangerous. They go, yeah, they got Tristan Hill and Neville Gallimore and Antoine Woods, and that's fine and all, but we're really worried about Tank Lawrence and not much else on this defense. You want to help Dan Quinn as defensive coordinator? You got to go add some talent. Plain and simple. I like Gallimore. If Hill's healthy, I like him too. He was much better in 2020. Antoine Woods, I'm bringing him back as a cheap RFA. Justin Hamilton, Elianaku, those guys ain't it. Tyrone Crawford might retire altogether. So if I'm the Cowboys, unquestionably, I am looking at free agency to find a way to add a good defense tackle, a legit interior option. Paying Dak helps you do that, by the way, but it's one of my top targets. Now, if you guys want a video on a bunch of different free agent defensive tackle targets, I need you guys to subscribe, because guess what? It's coming out on Wednesday, so if you don't want to miss out, hit that big red button and subscribe. Let's talk trade, this time trading back into the first round. 2 stars on this one, pitched by John Owning of the Dallas Morning News. I don't mind it. Look, the Cowboys here have draft picks to play around with. They have an extra 3rd round pick via the comp pick process. What you could do, hypothetically, of course, is go snag another impact defender. Now, Trader Jerry hasn't been that active as of late. Yeah, there was a move to go up and get Tyler Biadasz in last year's draft, but the days of, and the reports, which I know is going to happen at some point, Jerry Jones wants to make a splash, haven't been all that accurate as of late. That's not really been the MO as Stephen Jones and Will McClay take over more power. Now, if you move your 2nd round pick and your 3rd round pick, this is about what you'll end up getting. Now, it could be a little bit higher, it could be a little bit lower. This depends on the year, depends on the market. The Ravens don't mind trading down. So you get an extra 1st round pick. It does cost you your 2nd and your 3rd rounder. So would you guys want to, maybe it's 27, maybe it's 26, maybe it's 29, whatever it ends up being. There's always some flexibility there. Do you want to trade back into round 1? Type Y for yes or type in N for no. Now, look, a lot of this depends on who you're going to have to get, right? So Owning suggested for the Dallas Morning News, he mentioned 3 names. 2 safeties and a defensive tackle. There's Trevon Merrick, the safety from TCU. There's Richie Grant, the safety from UCF. And then he also mentioned Christian Barmore if he starts to slide. If he gets past Jacksonville in late round 1, I think I'd start calling at that point. I don't know if he's going to. It's a lot to ask. But those 3 names I do think make sense. I want a safety. I would try to wait on Grant or Merrick if I can. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to, but I would at least try. But it depends on draft night, right? We're not going to know this for sure until it actually happens. They'll do some due diligence there, but I would keep an eye on it. If the Cowboys address free agency properly, and they get maybe a corner in round 1 and Tyron and Leal are fine, the needs start to dwindle. At that point, you could justify going up to get an impact player, or maybe there's a crazy slide. So I would keep an eye out for this. Of course, that doesn't mean the Cowboys will do it, and you know me, I love to have extra draft picks during the NFL draft.